Passports are a physical representation of power, privileges, and rights. Having one of the most powerful passports opens more doors, in this case, borders that can improve your life. The best passports in the world give you the right to visit, stay longer, seek opportunities, and travel to neighboring territories. But today we are not going to talk about best passports because we already made. Video about top 10 best passports in the world link is in the description. Anyway, today we are going to talk about some of worst passports in the world in 2024. Before we dive deeper into the topic, if you are new to our channel, then our request to subscribe this channel, and if you find this video informative, must like this video and share your thoughts in comments section, especially if you find your country in this list, then tell about it too. Let's start. Number 10, Libya. One of the worst passports to have goes to Libya. This is mainly attributed to government instability and security concerns. Libyan passports can get visa-free destinations in 51 countries. Most of these countries are in Africa. However, all European countries and the US require a visa in advance for Libyan passport holders. Number 9, North Korea. Another worst passport to have is from North Korea, since most North Koreans are not allowed to leave their country. This passport is rarely issued. As a result, traveling overseas for most North Koreans is unheard of. Overseas travel requires some permission from their supreme leader and is often for work. Despite having a very restrictive government, North Korean passports can get visa-free access to Belarus, Micronesia, Kyrgyzstan, Gambia, and some Caribbean territories. It can also afford passport holders visa on arrival in some African and Asian jurisdictions. Number 8, Nepal. Nepal is among the worst passport in the world, weaker even than North Korea. The dismal ranking is mainly in part of Nepali citizens overextending or hiding out in other countries beyond what is allowed on their temporary visas. Nepalese passport can visit 50 countries visa-free, most of which are African nations. Some destinations in Asia and Oceania and a few in the Americas also offer visa on arrival and electronic travel authority. Number 7, Palestine. Another worst passport to have on the list because of political volatility and security issues is the Palestinian territories. 13 of the 51 nations that offer visa-free or visa on arrival are African countries. The remaining countries are primarily found in Asia. Some countries in the Americas and Oceania also provide visa-free entry. However, the US and all European countries require a pre-approved prior visa for Palestinian passport holders. EU countries have also reduced travel for Russian passport holders. Number 6, Somalia. Somalia is the worst passport in the world because of the country's many issues. Civil unrest, health issues, poverty, kidnapping, and other security threats cause the country's low ranking. Somali passport holders can go visa-free, primarily to other neighboring African countries. They can also go to Dominica, Haiti, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Micronesia, Malaysia, Benin, and Gambia. In addition, some countries in Asia and Oceania offers visa on arrival. Some countries like the UK, US, Canada, and New Zealand do not recognize the Somali passport as a valid travel document. Their visa policy means travel to these countries is very restricted. Number 5, Yemen. The ongoing war is partly the cause of Yemen's passport ranking. Thus, there are very few flight connections around that country. Moreover, only 45 countries, 12 in Africa, including Cape Verde, Madagascar, and Seychelles, 12 in Asia, and a handful of destinations in Oceania and South America offer visa-free entry to Yemen passport holders. And though the European Union and the UK recognize Yemen passports, entry requires Yemen passport holders to secure a Schengen or an appropriate visa before arrival. There are also visa policy restrictions on travel to the US, Canada, and Australia for Yemen passport holders. As a result, It is expected that most travelers will most likely not be allowed passage to these nations. Number 4. Pakistan. Pakistan is in the top on the list of worst passports to have. The weakness comes mainly from terrorist links. Though they are a peaceful nation, somehow terrorists have ties with the country. Other reasons include weak government, poverty, and the habit of some Pakistan passport holders of overstaying their visas. Besides African countries, a few countries in Oceania, the Americas, and Asia, including Maldives, Nepal, Qatar, Sri Lanka, and Timor-Leste, offer visa-free entry. Number 3. Syria. Armed conflict and terrorism are the main factors why Syria is on the opposite pole of the best passport in the world. Nevertheless, Syria's third spot in the worst passport in the world has slightly improved from second place last year. Syrian passport has access to some countries in Africa and Asia. Also, Dominica, Haiti, Micronesia, Palau, Samoa, and Tuvalu allow visa-free travel for Syrian passport holders. All countries in Europe and the Americas require some form of visa for Syrian passport holders before they are allowed entry. Moreover, though allowed, most visitors from Syria will not be permitted entry to Australia because of its major restrictions. Number 2. Iraq. Iraq passport holds the second spot for the worst passport to have in 2022. The primary reason is terrorism, which has been infesting the country for years. To make matters worse, political instability, poverty, and complicated social issues all contribute to the weakening of the Iraqi passport. Iraqi passports can only travel visa-free to 42 locations, mainly African nations. Moreover, a handful of territories, including Malaysia, Macau, Maldives, and Lebanon, allow visas on arrival. Australia has significant travel restrictions for Iraqi passport holders. Thus, there is a slim chance that passports issued by Iraq will be allowed entry to Aussie shores. Number 1. Afghanistan. The least powerful and worst passport in the world belongs to Afghanistan. Social issues, political upheavals, and civil unrest fuel the fire. Besides ongoing issues with terrorism that have been going on for years, the country also has limited diplomatic ties. This limited relations with other nations mean Afghanistan can only travel to 39 destinations without any visa. Visa-free travel is accessible primarily to African nations. A handful of destinations in other parts of the world like Macau, Maldives, Haiti, Palau, and Tuvalu also allow visa on arrival for Afghanistan passport holders. Travel to the US is only allowed for those who hold Afghan diplomatic passports.